I hated that part of me that wanted to believe him, that old, broken part that missed what we used to be before we became poison. I let him in. We talked. We cried. And somehow, because heartbreak has its own language, we touched, we kissed, we spiraled. That night, our bodies remembered each other too well. And in the morning, I hated how warm the sheets felt, how his voice hummed against my shoulder like it used to. I hated how much I needed that kind of touch, even if it came from the wrong hands. 3 days later, I asked Michael for space. I need to figure some things out, I said, not quite meeting his eyes. He didn't speak right away, just nodded once. Okay. I mean it, I added, my voice cracking. I'm not okay. I thought I was done, but I'm not. Michael took a slow breath, put his hands in the pocket of his scrubs. Did something happen? I hesitated and then told the truth. Donovan showed up. He didn't flinch, but I saw it. That quiet breath that caught in his chest, a flicker of something wounded in his eyes. I don't know why I let it happen, I confessed. I guess I still don't know how to do this without him. It's like every time I try to move forward, I trip over who I used to be. Michael stepped closer, not in anger or frustration, but with the kind of understanding I didn't feel I deserved. He gently reached up and tucked a piece of hair behind my ear, the same way he always did when I got flustered or couldn't find the right words. Then he kissed my forehead, just like before. But this time, it shattered something in me. Because it didn't feel like a beginning, it felt like a goodbye, wrapped in patience. I'll be here, he whispered, when you're ready, if you're ever ready. I blinked quickly. My throat got thick. I'm sorry. He smiled softly, but his voice was serious. You don't owe me sorry. You owe yourself honesty. He stepped back and put his hands by his sides. My grandmother used to say 3 things should never be rushed, he said in a low, thoughtful voice. Saying something hateful, saying I love you, and starting a new relationship. A sad laugh escaped me. Those things are probably why my marriage didn't last. He smiled again, wider this time, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. You're not broken, Angel, he said gently. You just need a little more time to heal. I didn't respond. I couldn't. I turned and walked away, feeling the weight of the moment settle into my bones. That night, I soaked in the tub as golden hour poured through the window, wrapping around me like a soft shawl. The bathwater smelled of lavender and eucalyptus. The steam kissed my skin. The silence didn't ask anything of me, and still I cried. Not the gut-wrenching sobs of heartbreak, but the quiet ache of realization. The kind that comes when a good man walks away, not because you didn't want him, but because you didn't know how to stay soft for someone who hadn't bruised you first. As I massaged shea butter into my arms, the tears kept falling. I remembered Michael's hands, steady and careful, his patience and his peace. And silently, like a whispered prayer, I thought to myself, I hope God's apology to you will lessen the pain I caused. The ocean outside still danced for me, but tonight the tide knew I was grieving a good thing. 3 months later. Somehow Donovan was back. Not with a heart-to-heart or tear-filled apology. Hell, it wasn't even a mutual decision. It was like letting him back into my body gave him access to my life again. The hardened part of my heart softened just a little, just enough to let my guard down. So when he started showing up again, sleeping over, leaving socks on the floor, asking what's for dinner like we hadn't spent months apart, I let it happen. Why? Maybe I was lonely. Maybe I was stupid. Or maybe I just wanted to see if he'd change. But above all, I knew it was wrong. We were sitting on the couch after dinner. It was quiet. Too quiet. That familiar tension hung between us. The kind that used to settle in after he'd get caught lying. I'd wait for an apology. He'd wait for me to forget. But I had moved on. And he came back. So if he wanted me this time, he'd have to do something he never did. Tell the truth. So what is this, Donovan? I asked, skeptical, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt, holding up his hand and flapping his fingers in that dismissive talking gesture. Then took a sip of his wine cooler. We're going to have to talk at some point, I said, calm but firm. He kept his eyes glued to the TV, ignoring me. I grabbed the remote, turned the TV off, and stepped before him. You're not going to ignore me in my own home. I asked for a divorce. You came here asking for another chance. So either we iron it out and go to counseling, or we end it here. Clean. He stood up and got in my face, eyebrows tight, his finger wagging like I was some kid. You embarrassed the hell out of me. I had to explain to my parents, your parents, why you just up and left our home. I laughed. Once again, he was playing the same game. And did you tell the truth? I asked, daring him. Don't test me, he warned, walking into me, crowding my space with his weight. I squinted at him. I couldn't believe he came back just to play this same tired game. Get out, I said, halfway done, halfway afraid of what would happen if he stayed. Nah, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going through a divorce just because your spoiled ass didn't get the fairy tale beginning you wanted. I love you, Angel. But you've been beating me with your unrealistic expectations for years. I'm sorry. I buckled under the pressure. Is that what you call letting your mistress plan our anniversary? Angel, let it go. I said I was freaking sorry. It won't happen again. Ham. Donovan, get out. I couldn't win. I never could. He always made me feel like the crazy one. I was obsessing over another woman. I was the one clinging to the past. I just wanted him gone. But he sat down, kicked his big dusty feet up on my expensive glass table, and took another sip from his damn wine cooler. The way he could go from 100 to 0 like that, it was terrifying. I went to the bedroom, grabbed his bag, and started packing the few things he'd brought. When I was done, I tossed the bag next to him on the couch. Get out, or I'm calling the police. I see why that nigga Kwasi stopped dealing with you, he muttered. And he was right. Women like you deserve to be alone. I laughed. Oh, y'all talking now. Because not even 3 months ago, he was sweating under the covers with your wife. But I guess I laughed so hard I slapped my knee like it was the funniest thing I heard. His face faltered, but he rebounded quick, just like a narcissist would. Ain't my fault he realized you were trash. Told me he didn't even know I stayed with you as long as I did. Did your new friend mention he slept with me? In our home? In our bed? That just show how disrespectful you are. Ain't got nothing to do with him. He spat. And you lied to him, just like you lie to yourself. But honestly, I don't care. You're in my beachfront condo, talking to your highly educated wife, who sat through years of your abuse with a smile, and calling her trash? I laughed loudly in his face just to make sure he felt like the clown he was. His face twisted. His words. I just agreed with him. We had a 5-year plan to move to Monterey, and I accomplished it in 1 month without you. Let's talk about trash. Let's talk about how you're really just dead weight. He stood up. Watch your mouth. I stepped closer, chest to chest. I asked you to leave, and you refused. I want you out of my house and out of my freaking life. I didn't flinch. I let the saliva fly when I spoke, aiming it right at his face. And that's when he snapped. He grabbed me by the neck and shoved me into the wall, squeezing hard. Don't ever get in my face again. At least Connie knows how to talk to a nigga. And when he released me, the fire of hell burned through my chest. I stormed to the bedroom, opened the safe, and pulled out my weapon. Came back with it aimed straight at him. And this would be self-defense, I said calmly, the barrel steady. So I'll ask you again. Leave my home. No problem, he muttered, grabbing his wine cooler and deliberately pouring it onto my carpet. He dropped the empty bottle with a loud clink and on his way out, knocked over every picture frame he could reach. A final tantrum, like a child who'd just been disciplined and needed to rebel, break something, make noise, prove he still had some control. But the truth was, he didn't. He lost. And all he could do now was show his ass on his way out. As soon as the door slammed behind him, I walked straight to the bathroom, pushed open the glass doors, and stepped onto the cool sand. The moon lit the shore, but inside me, a storm raged. And then it came, the roar, a scream, a cry, ripped through the depths of every silent lie. I let him get away with shit like this. Every lie I forgave, every tear I swallowed, every part of me I gave up for a love that never showed up for me. It was pain and rage, relief and victory. A sound so raw could only come from a woman who finally chose herself. I had always been good at the back and forth, but it cost me my peace, my dignity, my softness. Never again. The next time he showed up, the cops would be waiting. The office looked the same, but I didn't feel the same walking into it. My feet were heavy, like I trudged through cement to get here. My jaw ached from clenching. My shoulders were tight from holding in everything. Brenda glanced up when I walked in, unsurprised, just resigned, like she already knew. She didn't say a word, just motioned to the couch. Come on in, Angel. I sank into the cushion slower than usual. The silence wrapped around us, not soothing, just dense, full of what I hadn't said yet. After a long beat, I exhaled. He put his hands on me. Brenda didn't flinch, but her spine straightened. I stared at a spot on the floor. It started like all the other times. An argument, words that cut, I told him to leave. He got in my face, said I was always trying to make him feel small, that I didn't respect him as a man, and then he snapped. 1 second he was yelling, the next his hands were around my neck. Brenda's eyes didn't move, but their softness hardened, protective now. So I kept going. He let go when I shoved him. I ran to the bedroom, grabbed my gun from the safe. I didn't even think. Just came back with it aimed at his chest. I laughed bitterly, wiping my tears. And would you believe, even then, still had something slick to say. Poured out his wine cooler on my carpet, knocked over my pictures like a damn toddler throwing a tantrum. Like a kid who just got whooped and wanted the last word. Brenda's voice was calm, but it landed like a gavel. That's not a tantrum, Angel. That was abuse. And what he did before that, putting his hands around your neck, that's assault. That's violence. It could have been so much worse. I swallowed. I know. Keep playing it over in my head, thinking if I just kept my mouth shut, maybe he wouldn't. No. Her voice cut through. We are not doing that. You don't cause somebody to hurt you by standing up for yourself. You didn't make him do anything. He chose violence. Period. I looked at her. I just hate that part of me. The part that leaned into it. I matched his energy. I yelled. I didn't back down. I think I needed the fight. It felt familiar. Brenda nodded, slow and steady. Familiar doesn't mean safe. It just means unhealed. You've been taught that chaos is intimacy, that passion is pain, that proving yourself is love. But that's not love, Angel. That's survival. And you've been surviving for far too long. I dropped my head. I feel so stupid. You're not stupid, she said firmly. You're conditioned. But now that you see it, you get to break it. Silence settled again, heavier but clearer. Brenda leaned forward, voice soft but unyielding. You don't need to worry about any man right now. Not Donovan, not Michael, not anyone. You need to worry about healing. Because until you do, you'll keep reaching for what feels familiar, even if it's killing your spirit. Tears welled up again, and I wiped them with the back of my hand. I don't know if I know how to do life without him. You do, she said. You just haven't trusted yourself to try. I looked up at her, and she gave me that velvet knife tone I knew meant the truth was about to hurt, but heal. Don't move with anyone right now. Just move. I want you to stay single. Truly single. 2 years. My head snapped up. 2? Brenda, you've given years to everyone but yourself. Give 2 to the one woman you keep abandoning. You. I blinked hard. What if I don't make it 2 years? Then you get curious, not critical, she said gently. But the intention has to be there. No back doors. No, maybe this time it'll be different. Just you, your healing, your space. That's the relationship that needs your full commitment. I nodded slowly. Its weight settled into my bones like something final but freeing. You think Michael will wait? I asked quietly. Brenda's eyes didn't waver. Stop worrying about whether Michael or any man will wait. You shouldn't be worried about any man right now. Let's focus on whether you will wait for yourself. You've rushed enough. I nodded again, slower this time. Something in me is settling. Not healed, not fixed, but beginning to be. She leaned back, that familiar half smile playing at the corner of her mouth. Start by opening your blinds again. Then write, every night if you can. You have a light in you, Angel. Let's let it back in. Her voice softened with a whisper. You still have the peach sunsets and amber glow of golden hour. Your children and your peace. That's all you need. Remember when you told me that? My eyes stung. I did remember. That night, the air in the condo felt different. Not warm, not quite cold, just still, like the space was waiting to see what I'd do next. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, fingers hovering over Donovan's name for longer than I wanted to admit. It was always like this, the weight of a final goodbye. But this time, I didn't let myself spiral. I didn't reread old messages or scroll through photos pretending they told a love story instead of a warning. I just typed. Going forward, please communicate through my mom or your sister regarding the kids. I won't be taking direct messages or calls unless there's an emergency. I stared at it for a second, hit send, and before the bubbles could start forming, I blocked his number. Then his backup number. Then deleted the text so I wouldn't be tempted to read his reply. It didn't quite feel triumphant. It felt clean, quiet, like wiping down a dusty counter you didn't realize was layered in grief. Then I opened a new message thread. This one took longer. My hand shook a little, not from fear, but from mourning something that never really got the chance to bloom. Angel to Michael. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for your patience, for your gentleness, for seeing me even when I couldn't see myself clearly. I'm going to be focusing fully on healing, and I mean that in the deepest way. No dating, no distractions, just me, my kids, and my peace. I know this isn't what either of us hoped for when we met, but I need to give myself time. Brenda suggested 2 years, and for once, I agree. You deserve someone whole, someone ready. I hope when that person finds you, she sees how lucky she is. Until then, I'll be rooting for you, always. I didn't send it right away. I read it 3 times, cried the second time, smiled the third, then pressed send. And for the first time in a long time, I opened the curtains. The golden hour had already started. The tub was already drawn. Warm, milky water kissed with lavender and peppermint oil. Candles flickered along the tile ledge, their soft glow dancing in rhythm with the golden hour light spilling through the bathroom window. The sun was setting slowly, like it too wanted to savor me. The room smelled of eucalyptus, honey, and something new I couldn't name yet. Something hopeful. I sank into the water with a sigh so deep, it felt like it came from the version of me I buried years ago. The water curled around my collarbones like a velvet embrace. And for once, I didn't reach for my phone. There were no messages to check. Donovan was blocked. Michael had received my messages with grace, though honestly, I didn't deserve it. I told him plainly and gently, I won't be available for 2 years. I need to be mine first. The bath was quiet, but not silent. Jazz played low in the background, soulful, no lyrics, just notes that understood me. The kind of sound that didn't need words to be felt. I dipped the washcloth into the water and ran it over my thighs, arms, and chest. Not to scrub, not to rush, just to feel, to be with myself. As I moisturized after, I moved slowly, like a ritual. Each curve of my body acknowledged, claimed, and loved. Not because someone else might touch it later, but because it was mine to love. And I'm finally learning to love the space I occupy. Every inch, every scar, every stretch of skin holds stories. And tonight, I wasn't trying to erase any of them. I was learning to sit with the woman I had been. The broken-hearted girl chasing love like it would fix her. And tell her, you're safe now. Kwasi was right. I believed having a man defined me. I let Donovan mistreat me. Not just because I loved him, but because deep down I liked it. I liked being chosen, even if it was by someone who only valued me in pieces. I liked being needed, even if it broke me. There was a twisted comfort in being tolerated because I confused it with being kept. But I see clearly now. This 2-year commitment isn't just about celibacy. It's about clarity, about rebuilding my life without the weight of performing for love. I need this space for me, for my kids, for the version of me that still gets quiet when the house is too loud and too loud when life gets too quiet. I'm pulling back from everything: family, friends, noise, and expectations. Not out of bitterness, but because I need stillness to grow. I can't find my rhythm if I dance to everyone else's song. And Michael, sweet, patient Michael. I wronged him with silence and confusion. I held his warmth with cold hands. I let him believe I was ready when I wasn't even close. He deserves a love that doesn't flinch, that doesn't disappear when the past shows up in familiar cologne and half-hearted apologies. And that's not something I can offer yet. Tonight isn't about redemption. It isn't about rebirth. It's just a woman, alone, warm, soft, full of ache and awareness, choosing herself. The curtains stayed open. The sunset lingered a little longer than usual, painting my skin in peach and gold. I closed my eyes, smiled to myself, and breathed in the stillness. For the first time in my life, I realized I was the centerpiece. Not a side note, not a project, not a placeholder. The next man won't get to tolerate me. He'll have to celebrate me. And for a while, I meant it. Your girl followed through. 2 whole years. No men, no romantic detours, no saving anyone but myself. Just therapy, solitude, and my babies. I even pulled back from family and friends. Not because I didn't love them, but because I needed the kind of stillness that doesn't come with company. I sat in every silence, faced every shadow, owned every truth, even soothed the scars inflicted on myself. I learned how to be alone without feeling lonely, and how to feel whole without needing to be held. But healing isn't the end of the story. Sometimes It's just the intermission. 5 years later, the tub water was still warm, infused with lavender oil and soft pink rose petals that floated like quiet affirmations. I leaned back against the curve of the porcelain, the sunset spilling through the bathroom window in golden streaks. The blinds were open, a promise I kept to myself. My 7-month belly peeked above the bubbles, round and stubborn. She kicked again, firm and sure, like she had something to say. I smiled and traced a slow circle over the taut skin. "Okay, baby girl," I whispered. "I hear you." I took a sip of orange juice to finish my kick count, then set the glass beside the tub. The sky outside had melted into shades of apricot and peach, soft and glowing like hope. This was our new ritual: the tub, the sunset, the stillness, and her. The little girl I never expected, but who already felt like the best part of my story.
I wanna take it back, but I can't. I wanna leave it behind, but I can't. It's not easy to love you, darling. It's not easy to love you, darling. I should love you in the moment. I should tell you all the problems. It's not easy to love you, baby. It's not easy to love you, baby. It's not easy to love you, baby. You just run